Well, hello everybody. This is Daniel with Peace and Plenty Homestead. I'm going to do a really quick video, so you're going to have to buckle up for this one. We're going to try to cover the entire farm, everything, every station that we have something going on, something planned, or something in the works. So here we go. We're going to start out on the front yard. I'm going to turn the camera started. This right here is a nectarine tree that we have. We planted a bunch of fruit trees a couple of years ago and they've done really well. Real quick, this one's got some Japanese beetles on it, and when you have a situation like that, just put the diatomaceous earth, natural diatomaceous earth, right on them, and then you can spray the entire plant down with a mix of neem soap and I believe it's dishwashing soap. Which one is it? Neem soap and neem oil and dishwashing soap. That's it. Out here in the front yard, we've got the fig trees and the raspberry bushes. They're doing really well. We're going to swing around here. This is the Mimosa tree that I planted when my little sister passed away from cancer. So I enjoyed that little tree right there. She climbed on a Mimosa tree when she was little, as a little girl. So that I enjoyed that. We have a lot of mimosas around here. This is a plum tree right here. We've got some more of those around. And like I said, we're going to go real fast to cover the entire farm today, what we're doing. These are our Silky Chickens right here, and we've got to go down and take a look at the chicks real quick. We use these Silkies to brood, and you can see that they've hatched these little chicks right here. They're cute as can be. They're getting bigger. They're doing well. But the Silkies will be the best brooders. You can just put eggs underneath of them and they will feverishly hatch them. So we've got a temporary little fence right here, and this coop right here, I've got hooks on the top of it right here. I can pick it up and move it around the yard. So it's temporarily right here in the front yard for right now. Back here in this corner, I've got, this is the project that I'm probably going to try to put at the front burner here real soon. The foundation is in. You can see the piers going around, and the 6x6 posts are here. I'm going to start building a little guest cottage right here. We used to have our firewood back here, but we're slowly closing that down and moving it to another place. So getting the foundation footers in, that was a huge accomplishment. And I got the sewer done. We had to actually buy the tractor to get this done, but this runs over and ties into our sewer. And I have another sewer connection on the other side of the shed, along with water and electricity for an RV pad or camping or whatever. Let's come around here and then we'll walk back to the front. This is the back side of the shed. And like I said earlier on the shed video, I've got a little bit of trim to put around this window, and then this will be ready to paint back here. But we bought this shed stripped down. No windows, no benches or anything added to it. The stripped down model was the way to go on that deal right there. This is the start, the corner of our strawberry patch. I wanted to show you this little wire cage right here that I have. It's a square cage and it's tied into the building, and this piece of plywood goes up and down with a rope that is looped up around to the front door, and we can pull and close this in the evening. But the advantage to having this what I call a diving board, this square metal cage sticking out here, it's about 20 to 24 inches up off the ground. I'm going to move these strawberries out of the way, and I'm going to put a board in here, and it's going to stick out about 10 inches so the chickens can hop up here and walk in. Now the way I train them is I put a ramp up to that board for a few weeks, and then I take the ramp away and they will hop up there on their own. And the predators cannot find this entrance very easily. It's a little bit difficult for them, it'll slow them down. But then of course we have the plywood that drops down. I cut a hole right here in the fence to get the square tunnel put in there. I'm so happy. It was a hard day's job. Actually, it took 2 or 3 days to get water hydrants put around the farm, but I'm so glad I did that. And when I had the holes dug, I ran a power line over here, so we have power for the shed and we have power for other projects back here. And then this is a Joe Salatin small version of the chicken cage that you drag around the yard for meat birds. This section back here, we kind of plant whatever odds and end bushes that we find or have left over. So we've got the mimosa trees and some other bushes. I can't remember the name of them, but I planted this one right here. This evergreen is designed for this area back here. Also this for evergreen right here. The main reason I planted them is for the praying mantis. The praying mantis prefer to lay their eggs in evergreens like this. So with the strawberry patch right here, we've been able to cultivate a really nice praying mantis family here. So this area right here is going to get a quick little fence put up for the chickens that are in this new coop that we have here. I'm going to come around here and I'm going to just take a peek in here at them, and then we'll start around to the front of the building. So they really like sitting up on this box right here. These are black Morans. So this may not be the best picture. It's been raining all day, and I'm just doing a quick little walk around to get everybody interested in some of the things that we'll be going in detail on later. Okay, here we are in front of the shed now, and you can see we've got the meat birds going right here, and they'll be processed next week. We'll get those done. And the front of the shed, of course, we keep the zero turn in there, and you can see the trash cans with the food, the various chicken food that we use for here. This is Ingrid's raised bed right here, and we've got a couple of fig trees, one here, one here. Our goal is to really plant more fruit trees to use them to feed the animals, cut the feed costs down. So here's our watermelon. They're doing really well. Of course, we've got the tomatoes and the squash. Zucchinis have not done very well at all this year, but the other various items, the peppers and all of that, have done pretty well. Let's swing around here. I love this mimosa tree right here. It's just beautiful, beautiful tree. I have to cut it back a little bit because it invades and shades just too much right here. So we've got the tomato plants, various tomato plants in pots up through here with the cages on them. And then, of course, this is our watering system for the strawberries. We talked about that earlier, how the rabbit manure and the rabbit poo tea right there. And this is coming out of the back of the strawberry patch right here, going across the back of the house. And I've got a 12-volt battery operated electric fence right here. This is going to be really hard, sorry, to see the solar panel in here, but I'm just going to show you real quick, and I'll get lights and do an in-depth video later. This panel right here, it collects all of the solar panels into one box, has a breaker for each solar panel, and that just goes over to a charge controller right here. This is the batteries. This gray box is positive and the other box is negative. And then I use that to collect all my leads where I can run 12 volt. This is all my 12 volt stuff right here. Whether I'm running electric fences, lights, the RV pad, anything 12 volt goes through there first so that I can watch my amperage. And then I have this blue box which has switches here for lights and just little various things, a light in here that I can turn on and that type of thing. And then this is the panel controlling the items in the chicken coop down at the bottom of the farm. As far as lights, electric fences, and all of that, everything runs off of 12 volt in this solar system right here. It even has a giant battery charger right here. I can throw it with the generator sitting right here. If I need to, it's raining for a couple of days or the days are real short, I can fire up this generator and charge up the batteries. And this at maximum amperage is about 27 amps here. So it'll run, you know, a freezer or two and a lot of lights or, you know, some things like that. But real handy 12 volt system. Okay, moving on from the solar system. These are my animal traps, Have a Heart animal traps. We trap everything that comes up around here, and we keep the predator population really low. This is my generator box. I have 2 or 3 generators in there, and I have a video on that. They're wrapped in Faraday cloth to protect them from an EMP. I'm not really much concerned about an EMP. It's not really on the top of my list, but for the heck of it, I went ahead and did that. This is our old shed that we used to keep all of the garden supplies in, but now that we have the what we call she shed in the front, the new one in the front yard, all of the gardening supplies go up there. So up here, I wanted to show you the gutter coming down right here. You really can barely see it. There's a gutter right there coming down into this white pipe right here, and that white rainwater gutter comes through a filter that we have a rainwater filter system. This is a clean out, and this is a clean out for the rainwater system. And there's a really small hole down here in the bottom of it so that all the excess water will drain out and the system won't freeze. And I can stick a toothpick in that in the summertime and clog that little tiny hole up to help to fill the tanks. Now the water tanks are under the deck back here. I've got them covered with the camo tarp just so that it looks halfway decent. Then there's a manifold right there that collects all the water. All the tanks are connected together, and we can get water right out of this. I use the 100-gallon propane tanks. I just prefer to go get my own propane. And I've got a propane manifold right here that runs to all of the cooking appliance things. As far as the grill, there's the manifold for the propane gas. That runs the grills and the cookers. If we're canning stuff or whatever we're doing, I can just hook it up right there. These aquariums, this is my old aquaponics system. It hasn't been running for 7, 8, maybe 9 years. But if I ever wanted to do a small aquaponics system, I would have it set up right here. The way it works is there's one large tank right here, and the water is pumped up to this tank, and then it overflows into this tank, and it overflows into these smaller tanks, and then into this tank, and then into there. So it's like a waterfall type thing. That is the hydro or aquaponics system. You can do either one. Okay, now we're up here on the deck. Just a quick look at this box. I've got it up on wheels, and I've got clear plexiglass doors that fit on it right here. And it's got a glass lid, and the front of it is glass. You can see through there. And I've got shelves in there. And we use this to germinate our seedlings. We put our seedlings on this top shelf right here, and then we can put our hatching plastic, the styrofoam egg hatchers right there, and down below we can have the chicks running around down here. And so redundancy is what I have found to be the best way to run the lights and the heat and everything. So there are 2 home runs from this box back to my breaker panel. So if one of the 6 ways, I've got 6 ways right here, one here and one up here, each 6-way is a home run back to the electrical panel, so that if a breaker blows or a bulb blows or a heat element goes out, the other second system will keep running. And I can put a third system in if I need to, because I can just run an extension cord over to the house. So if it's extra cold, I may put in a third light if I think I'm going to need it. But we can do a lot with this. It rolls around, it's on wheels, and so we can roll it up to the sliding glass door and keep an eye on the chicks and whatnot that's germinating and happening in here. Nothing happening in here right now. We're waiting on the next round of chicks, and that's going to be American breast, and we're going to use those as a meat bird. So looking forward to that. This is our grill. Of course, you've got to have one of those on the farm. This is the smoker. We smoked an awesome set of pigs this year in here, the ribs and the pork belly and all of that. It was just incredible. Over here we keep all of the canning supplies. I guess you could call this like the outdoor kitchen. We use those burners, those propane turkey cooker burners, and big huge pots to do all of our serious processing and our serious canning and that type of thing. Across here, I wanted to show you real quick the well. This well right here has a little red hand pump on it, and I've got that actually hooked up and running down to the well. And we've had to fall back on that a few times where the power went out and the water lines froze or whatever happened, and we needed to water animals right away or get water for ourselves. You can get fresh water right there, even when there's I think we had about a foot or two of snow one time this past year, and we were mighty thankful to be able to come out here and get fresh water because the power was out and then the pipes were frozen, so that made it really difficult right there. Just a quick note on this truck right here, the Toyota T100. I built that truck completely from scratch. Every nut and bolt, electrical system, motor, differential. The only thing I didn't touch was the transmission, and it replaced the interior. You have to do that if you're going to be a homesteader. You have to be able to do your own automobile repair, your own maintenance, get them from the junkyard, drive them as long as you can. It's got to be there for a while. It either had to be given to us or we bought it from the junkyard. But as you can see, the gold and silver business that we have, Daniel's Bullion Coins, it's doing really well, and we've been able to buy her a Toyota and me another Toyota truck, and we use those for the business because we do a lot of business traveling, long distance business traveling with the company, and so they're justified in the company. This is my new firewood station. You saw the old one back there behind the cottage house, but I've built a new rack here, and I'm starting to stack wood up, and of course it's a project that needs to get done. The wood splitter's been sitting here for quite a few months, so we need to get busy doing firewood. Of course, that'll be this fall. This is the Fodder House. This, I'm gonna back up just a smidge. This is the most important building, the most important aspect of our homestead, aside from being financially independent and debt-free. The second most important thing is fodder. This is where we grow the little sprouts that we feed to the chickens and the rabbits and the sheep and the cows and everything. Very high protein. Right now this building is shut down because I built it with the windows all the way around, which is great in the spring and the fall. But in the summertime, you need to be able to close it off and turn on the air conditioner. So I've bought all the supplies. I've got the supplies stacked up in there, different roofing type things. I'm gonna make window covers, insulated window covers, and put in an air conditioner and get a bigger solar system, a 48 volt solar system to run the Fodder House. I had it on 12 volt, but that's just not going to be enough. And you really have to look for videos on that. I'm going to be doing a lot of videos on that and getting in depth on that. This is our little greenhouse, and this is the table. This cute little table goes in there, and the little chairs that we have to go around it makes it look really cute. But right now it's full of windows because you have to buy them when you find them cheap. And I bought all of these windows and all of these doors super cheap at a clearance warehouse yard sale type place. And I've already used the window. You saw that in the she shed where we have the black Morans, and the doors and all that. I've used just a ton. The shelves that are in the she shed, any shelving that you see came from this auction, and I've gotten my money back many times. Even the windows on the outside of here, all these were sliding glass doors. I got those free at a window and door place going out of business, and so I still have plenty of glass left over from all of that. Well, that was the Fodder House right there. Right there is the Fodder House. Right there is the greenhouse that we germinate and grow the seedlings in. And I'm going to wrap this video up so that it doesn't get too long. This will be part one, and we will do a part two on the rest of the farm. Probably, maybe even a part three. I can't believe it's taken so long for me to get around this farm. But I want to thank everybody for watching, and please like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to catch up to how we do this completely paid for, come and watch Daniel's Bullion Coins. We'll put a link in below. Thank you again. Well, hello everybody. This is Daniel with part two of Peace and Plenty Homestead. Starting up where we left off at the Fodder House and the greenhouse. I'm just going to turn the camera at the bottom of the hill now and we're just going to walk around over here and see what we've got going on. So this is my fencing area. I throw all my extra scrap fencing in pieces right here. I've got tanks set up here and gutters tied into the shed right here. This gutter goes around to the other side, and then this gutter goes down and dumps into this one. And I catch the water here just in case we lose power. I've got water down here. I've got plenty of wire in case I'm actually getting ready to start building a much larger rabbit shed cage combination. These are my birthing boxes right here. This is my wire cutting area. I can put the wire right on here, just come over here and pull out a piece and cut it off. Various wire leftover pieces and whatnot. I've got shelving built back there. These are pieces of plywood that I use for the rabbits. Now, we should have some baby rabbits in here. Let's look and see. We can just, I'm sure they're old enough where we can stick our hands in here now. Oh yeah, look at this one. That's just too cute, isn't it? No wonder these videos get so long. Is it just one in there? Yep, just one survived. There was a little bit of confusion at the beginning, and so we only ended up with one there. And then I think there's a couple right here. Yeah, we have a few right here. Sorry it's so dark. It was raining all day today, and so I decided to just come out and shoot a couple of, well, that's a bunch of them right there. Yeah, there you go. Bebopping around. I don't know how many we got, but 4 or 5 right there. They're old enough where I can stick my hand in there. If they were younger, she's getting tired of them already. Let's go down here. This is the 3rd batch right here. You can just barely see them back there. Oh, let me take the door open so that the focus will straighten up on them. These look a little bit older. They're doing fine. Oh my goodness, 4. I didn't think we had a 4th one. Let's see if there's any live ones in here. No, nobody survived. I think there was problems with this. There were problems with this one. She couldn't quite pull it off. She made a nice nest, but the babies just didn't survive. Okay, so this is my row house here, and we put the hay in right here. Straw for their stomach digestive system. They need straw. They've got a piece of plywood right here. The best watering system I have found is a rain gutter back there. It runs the whole length of all 12 cages that I have here, and the rabbits can lay against that and get cooled off. And so I just have a drain on one end, and I fill it at this end over here. And this is another piece of plywood that they can lay on right here. Of course, they've got the J feeder right here. Got a bird building a nest. Anytime I leave this lid open, instantly a bird starts building a nest there. This whole entire front lifts up and hooks onto here, and I can pull that tray out and clean these really easily. I call this the row house because it's 50 foot long and 12 cages right there. This is the rain gutter going down and tying into these tanks, and then there's another manifold there and a faucet at the end. I can collect the water right there. We keep all of our feeders and water feeders and whatnot on these shelving and underneath there. The straw is under here for the rabbits to eat. Nice stainless steel table. Picked that up at a yard sale, really cheap. I can't even tell you how cheap it was because you wouldn't believe me. Keep an eye out for those kind of things. I'm always grabbing all that type of stuff. Over here, we call this the condos. It's two layers, has the same type of thing. That has the plywood and the rain gutters and other plywood to sit on so their feet don't go bad, don't get sores. J-channel feeders. So we've got the rain gutter situation. I'm catching water here. Unfortunately, this tote doesn't have a metal cage around it, so it's about to fall over on me. Down here, we've got, this is where we pile up the manure for composting right here, and we do our garden dirt and all that. So when we clean out the cages, whether it's the chickens or the rabbits or whatever, we pile everything right here. Then we put it in burlap bags and put it in these tanks right here and let it soak in the rainwater. We run the rainwater down to here, and then there's faucets on this side, and I take a little pump and I pump the poo tea water, we call it, from these tanks up into the truck tank, and I can drive around and spray the field or the garden or whatever. I wanted to show you, let's start over here across the driveway from the condo rabbits. This on the right is a plum tree, on the left is a nectarine tree. No, I'm sorry, I've got it backwards. Right is a nectarine, left is a plum. And then this is what we call the stockyard. And right now it's being used to grow out these sheep that will be processed. Now this is Justice. He's our regular, nope, that's not Justice. That is one that's getting, that is Justice. This is Justice right here. We keep him as our breeder. And these other smaller ones, they'll grow out for the next 5 or 6 months, and then we will process them. And I've talked in other videos about the feeding station and the diving board situation, and the chickens are trained to jump up there. This electric fence keeps them in there. These males are going to want to escape. We've got what we call the Fema Camps right here. This is for chickens. It's not being used right now. This one is for pigs. If I need to corral the pigs, you've got to have a place when you've got pigs that you can corral them temporarily while you do fence repairs. So if you've got the pigs in here, so this is my colony area where I do rabbit, sheep, chicken, black soldier fly, everything can potentially be in here. And if it happens to be pigs, then this gate is open so that I can corral them and do what I need to do as far as, because they tear things up and whatnot. And then this is, right now you can see the fence is going up and over that. That is the sheep's shelter for right now. It can be rabbit also. And then the next two are rabbit and shelters. And they've got the pipes going underground for the rabbits to access them. And these are water totes that I made into hay holders, hay racks for them. And this is the stockyard. Oh my, it's starting to rain on me, and I have got a lot to walk this entire farm and try to give an overview is really something. So this is the Moran coop, we call it. And we've got one hen in here. I know the light is terrible, but she is brooding. So we're gonna see how that goes. She's got some feed and some water, and these little metal doors. If the chicks hatch, this will keep the chicks from falling out. We let them get a little bit bigger before we let them out of there. And then this little area is for where I put the rat poisoning. If you've seen the videos, that's all in there. The water, I put that over here. It's on bricks because there's a light underneath. And it's a bulb with a porcelain ceramic ceiling fixture right there. So we've got the 12 volt down here, and we can run the lights, the heat, any timers that we need down here, fences. All of this is 12 volt. These are the 12 volt breakers coming in. This is the fence and whatever as far as timers. Oh, this box right here is where I keep the aquaponics and the things that we use for that. A little propane in case I need extra heat in there. This lid opens up right here, and the chickens can climb in and out when it's raining. We keep it closed because their feed is in there. This is the feeding station right here under this tree. This is the new sheep feeding area. I can feed the sheep right over the fence there without being bombarded. You need that to keep from being bombarded by them. This is the old tractor that I got from my dad before he passed here just in January. And I was going to fix it, was going to use it, but unfortunately this tractor is going in the dump because it just requires too much time and too much energy, and it's going to need new tires, and that makes it virtually worthless right there. Some of the odds and ends I keep around here, little wagons and wheelbarrows, are always handy. I keep all my gasoline, my mixed gas, my dangerous fuels in this old utility truck right here. I just love these old Cub Cadets. I've got 4 of them. 3 of them are up and running. This one is as a mower. This one is as a tiller. and the other one is as a sickle mower, and they're really handy. So now we're going into the barn, and mainly because it's raining again. So this is all my various odds and ends. I'm trickle charge my batteries that I have to keep. They're so expensive. I just keep them on a trickle charge in the winter, all the tractor batteries and everything. This is a little stall right here. I've got the electric fence right here that runs the entire perimeter of the exterior of the property. So we have inner sections and whatnot going on, but then this electric fence, because I've got 95 on the back of the property, I don't want the cows or the sheep getting out there. So we've got an extra big bite fence right there that keeps. This is the fence that goes into the stockyard so that the sheep can come into this area, this little stall right here, and it's got dividers on it. I've got this door right here. Let me show it to you. This thing here, it's really cool. It opens up. I may have it screwed shut, I sure do. But that double door right there will come over and close off to right here. And I can even put another divider right down the middle of here. So if I need to separate birthing here and in this area right here where I'm standing, I can have 3 little areas. And then I've got a door right here, close it off, I can latch it, and I can bring the sheep in here. And I keep their food, keep a lot of hay right here. Got the plywood right there to separate it, and the hay in storage right there. I can just throw it over into here when I need to. Well, I tell you what, it's starting to rain again, but I'm going to keep on filming and just see how this goes. So we're on the outside now. This is my Chevrolet truck. I've been working on that for a long time. 4-wheel drive, 1 ton. It's the real deal with the dump bed. So I would like to get that going here pretty soon. I've got this trailer, I just rewired, put new brakes, new lights, everything on that. So it's roadworthy. I can use that to haul my tractor around. This is my sweet wife Ingrid's little garden area where she keeps her things. Of course, I've got my plywood stored here and my lumber stored up there. Various pieces of lumber. I keep all my potentially usable tires right here. This is a little bit more of the mixing center, where this is my stainless steel table. I can roll that out there on processing day. We store all of our little bit of chemicals we have right here. And then this is my outdoor processing, butchering kitchen area. So right now it's a mess because we're not using it, but it's just a storage thing. But we will be processing. I use this for rabbits, for chickens, for the sheep, whatever I'm processing. I started out right there. Back here is just a catch-all of a little bit of everything. This is the stainless steel tub that we use to scold the pigs in. I really didn't like that process. I just skinned them. Seems to work better for me. I do it that way. Scaffolding. There's the rest of the doors that I got for free. And I grab anything. These are all free things that people have given me. This is the aquaponics system. I tried that. It didn't work out so well. These are all metal water tank holders that I stacked up, use them as shelves to store my piping and whatnot on. Okay, so we're out here to the left of the barn, and this is my greenhouse that we use to put the seedlings in. I accidentally bumped into it with the tractor, so it's a little out of whack, but you can cover this with plastic, and when you're having few and far between frost nights, you can just leave the plastic off, and then if you have a frost coming, you just throw your plastic back up over it. That's how I do it because it's so small. Seems to work the best for me. I store all of the 3-point hitch and tractor implements back here. I can just pull up to them right across here. Back here is where we're going to do the garden, where future garden is going to be in this area right here. Going to clean all of this up. This is my fox traps. I have the fox traps in there. I've got the fence around it to keep the cats from getting into it. Over here, I've got the foundation in and starting on building a carriage house back here. It's like a garage, a 5-car 5-bay garage. I've got the footers in, I've got the posts, but it's really too hot right now to do anything with this. And my spare tanks are back there. We've got the pond. We got that, had that put in a few years ago. Had a little creek. There's a little creek that runs up the property. This is the lumber for the cottage, or for the carriage house that we're building. More hay racks right here. This is what we call the Reds coop. We have the Reds in there, and it's red, so that's what we designated this. And it's quite a ways out here. Now you know why we ride the zero turn around when it's time to feed and lock people up, when it's time to lock up the beast. But little coop here with the hen boxes and roosting places, nesting, you know, where they can sit on those. This has 110 electric fence here. And it's 6 foot high, so that keeps the foxes and coyotes out. It doesn't have a cover over it. I do have a cover over their feeding station right here with the trash cans right there. But this area, now they're gonna come up here like crazy, but that's okay. We can step into this area right here and have a separate feeding area. So I can feed them right here without them bombarding me. I'm going to build a cover over this really soon. So much for showing you anything about that. Okay, let's look at the garden over here with the other sheep in here. This used to be our garden, but with the trees overgrowing it so much around the edge, we're probably just going to turn this into a holding pen for the sheep. So these will be processed here in a few months once they get a little bit bigger. And over here we've got the black Morans that we have that laid the eggs that are in that hatched and are in the she shed that we showed you on part 1. Over here is my little junkyard. We've actually hauled 3 cars away, but 2 more need to go. This is Nathan's Volvo, but we drove that for a long time, and I'm using that as storage for feed. And I've got the old aquaponics stuff here and here. One of the best things we ever did was buy a spare matching vehicle. So we had 2 of these Volvos. One was white, one was green, but they were identical mechanically. And we could rob parts off of the old one and keep the one we were driving going. And I robbed thousands of dollars worth of parts off of the junker to keep this one going. And that's an economic tip for you right there. 2 cars identical, so you can swap parts out. Everything from wheels, tires, batteries, electric components, everything you can imagine, we just switched out right from there. Okay, coming around the farm again, we're back around to the rabbit station and this shed. And this is the straw storage for the rabbits. And this is going to be converted into a cold storage room. I'm going to completely clear this out. Now that I have the barn, I'm going to get rid of everything. Okay, we're to the last section of the video for today. These are the cows. We have 1 new calf here, and we're hoping for a second one. This is the pond we had put in a couple of years ago, and this is the land we had cleared. I seeded it this year. Boy, that was expensive. Seed and fertilizer. Of course, we use the all-natural rabbit poo tea that you saw earlier to fertilize this, and the sheep keep it mowed down pretty well. I'm glad that I've got them separated now so that maybe this field can have a chance to grow. I mentioned earlier that I put the Mimosa tree up for my sister, and I had the tractor in memory of my dad. And along 95 over there, we planted, along this edge, we planted a buffer zone in memory of my youngest son, Aaron, that we lost this year. And I want to dedicate this video to him and the health issues that he struggled with, and encourage anybody else to not be bitter, but be better. Don't let situations tear you down and destroy you. Things are going to happen in life that are just horrible, and you have to just not become bitter. Don't blame anybody. Don't take out vengeance on anybody, and just trust the Lord that He's working in your life, and all these things are intended to benefit us in one way or another, even though they seem horrible at the time. Thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate it, and I hope that you'll be watching as we go into detail on every one of these areas that we talked about in the video. I have a lot of exciting things to show you this year, and we're going to be looking forward to doing that. Thank you.